You want experience. You don't want just a little bit of XP. You want loads of XP because you want to enchant that sword. You want to enchant that armour. You even want to enchant that rubber duck. What? No, not the rubber duck. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to show you how to get masses of XP. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance. And you might remember this mob grinder that we did in our farm tutorial series just a little while ago. Well, this mob grinder is absolutely amazing. You get loads and loads of stuff out of it. Look at all the stuff that's falling through it with no water whatsoever. However, you do not get any experience, and one thing that we're going to need when we are going to enchant our stuff with the maximum type of enchantments that we could possibly have, all the sharpness, all of the extra protection, everything you want, well, you're going to need experience for that. And this mob grinder is not going to help you out as far as experience goes, because it just doesn't give you anything. You're not the person killing the mobs, so you don't get any experience for it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a little tutorial that is going to be an adaptation of this. However, it's going to be far more simple and have absolutely easy construction, so as you can get an easy mob grinder with a really good rate of generation of XP. Shall we get into it? Well, I'll get into it as soon as you've hit that like button for me. Yes, make sure you hit that like button full in the face. I'm really looking forward to seeing how many likes we can get on this video. Let's see if we can get 187 likes. 187 likes is the target. If we're going to get that, I'll be very happy. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It'll be great to see you in my sub club. And now let's get on with the video. So like you did with our mob grinder, you have got to make absolutely sure you light this place up like a beacon. Mobs love the dark and they will take space of mobs in your farm. So make sure you get every little nook and cranny nice and light so it doesn't take any space away from the farm. If you leave anything dark, the mobs will go into the caves and they won't go into your farm, and that would be a disaster. So make sure you get those torches going. First off, we're actually going to put a collection system into this farm, because it's no good just getting the XP when there's loads of drops that you could also be getting. So we're going to get the drops as well. So we've got a double chest there that's going to collect lots and lots of drops. We're going to get a hopper, go into crouch, and we're going to stick a grid of 4 hoppers there, which means that anything that falls on anywhere in that area of 4 there will automatically be lobbed straight into that chest. So to demonstrate, there goes. Not entirely sure exactly what that slab went into, but if I open it up, we have them back. Thank you very much. So that's dead easy. And we want the mobs to fall onto something that at least looks a little bit nice, not just empty hoppers. So again, we're going to go into crouch, and if we use a half slab, that means that the mobs will fall onto these, and any drops will go straight through the half slab, because at the moment it's a transparent block because it's on the first half of the block, and there's an empty bit at the top, so it sucks it all the way through. Then we're going to get stone bricks on both sides here, there and there. We're going to leave this bit semi-open, and we're going to get ourselves a little bit of glass, and we're going to put this glass on the side here. And the reason for that is I just like being able to see what I'm bashing. You know what I mean? It's just nice to be able to see what you're bashing every now and again, because I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit vicious, but it's just a much bigger preference of mine. So we're going to build in the enclosure in just a moment, but what we want to do is we want to get ourselves up at least kind of 22 or 23 blocks. Now you can go up 23, but ever so slightly occasionally that does kill the mob. So I prefer 22, including this half slab here. So let's go. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the 22nd one is stone bricks. And then we're going to create that tower all the way around. So I'll be back when I've done that. And there it is, one magnificent glass tower. We have blocked it in all the way around the back, and at the front here where the chest is, we have got half blocks sat underneath this last block of glass. So if I take those out, see here you've got a 4 blocks gap there. Now that's no good. If you've got a 4 blocks gap, then you're going to find that some of the mobs are going to be able to fall out or climb out the bottom of your spawner, and if you're in survival, they're going to want to eat your face. So that is not something I recommend. Get yourself a little half slab under there. You can still get in and beat them up, but you don't get your face eaten, which is always a bonus. It also should, unless you happen to be stood at the wrong angle, which is sometimes unavoidable, should mean that the creepers won't blow up either, because they don't think they can get to you, therefore they don't actually initiate their circuitry for blowing up stuff, which is also brilliant. So here what we want to get is a block of stone, and then another one. On top of that we're going to get a redstone torch. On top of that we're going to get a block of stone. On top of that we're going to get a redstone torch. It does not have to be a block of stone. It needs to be any conductive block that you would like. It's completely up to you, but it needs to be a conductive block. And then we're going to go all the way to the top and create what is basically a redstone tower right to the top, or the very nearly the top anyway. So I'll be back when I've done that. So you can see here we have managed to get right to the top, and you'll notice that the top one is off. That is what we're trying to achieve, an off status on that top torch. And then we're going to come around a ring of stone all the way around. Again, you can use whichever block you would prefer to use. I personally am using stone brick because I like it and it's my build, and I'll use whatever it is I want to use. Thank you very much. And that gives us an area that we can then get redstone going on. So we want to actually get some redstone dust, and we're going to do a circuit of redstone dust all the way around here. So let's get that. So it's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if we were to turn on that torch, and I can do that by flicking that off, you'll see all of that redstone, including that one there, is active. Now it might only be just active, but it is active, and that is what we need for it all to be active. So that's really great. And what we're going to do down here is we're going to get a lever, and we're going to stick a lever on this block. And in sticking a lever on that block, what that's doing, that gives us complete control over this farm, and we can basically switch the polarity of that top one from off to on. And that means that we've got an active redstone circuit at the top that we can use to be able to make sure the mobs fall when we want them to fall, and not just randomly, which would mean that you're just going to get a collection of mobs at the bottom, and that's not really something we're after. The next step is to create this cross pattern. So you've got your square here, and then you're coming out 1 2 3 4 5 6 more blocks after that square, and at the end of that you also want to get yourself an upside down stairs like that. So that's the 7th block. So including the ring, you can say it's 8. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, including the upside down step. And then you just want to fill these in. So come along and just fill in between all these gaps here to make sure you've got a really nice square. So we're just going to do that now. So we've created this platform, and then we're going to create on top of this platform a wall around the edge. And I'm just going to use again the stone bricks. We're going to go all the way around in just one layer to start with.
Want to get off that darkest ground. The gravity pulls you
like that, and then we're going to come into each corner, and then we're going to do another layer.
From a bird's eye view.
So we've got a 2 high wall all the way around. Then we're going to get some more blocks. Now it doesn't actually matter which block you use here, but I'm just going to use cobble just to differentiate between the stone brick and the cobble. And we're going to come along 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and then again 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, and then we're going to create like a triangle shape in the corner here. And it looks like that from above, you can see that, and we're just going to do that in all 4 corners. So again 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. I'm not sure, I can't count. 1 2 3 4 5 6, that's right. And then create that triangle again. So let's get these done in the other two corners too. And there we've got a really nice pattern, and we'll notice we are going to start using some water, but not in the way that you think. So if we put a bucket of water there, you'll notice it swooshes all the way along but doesn't go down the hole. And if we were to do exactly the same in all of these corners, we would get a complete flow of water across the entirety of the floor of that trap, but nothing would go down the hole. And that's exactly what we are trying to achieve, but we're not trying to achieve it just by leaving it there permanently. So let's get rid of that water just by sticking a block into the source block where we put the water in the first place. That effectively kills that water block completely, replaces it with an air block, and you lose the water, and away it goes. We are going to be using a dispenser in each corner. So in each corner, take away one block like that, come around this side, and try and do it so as it's kind of even. So you got one on that wall, one on that wall, one on that wall, one on that wall, and then get your dispenser, and it has to be a dispenser, not a dropper. This is really, really important. And stick your dispenser into each corner like that. And what is going to happen, this dispenser is what's going to shoot the water out for us. So it's going to be under our complete control, which is really what we're after. We don't want anything that's going to be completely random. We don't want the mobs falling down when they want to. We want the mobs falling down when we want them to, and not before. That's what's really, really important. And then here we're going to get some signs down in this thing, and we're going to stick a sign on each side of this. And what that's going to do, that's going to make sure that we have no mobs dropping too far. So for example, if they were to, I don't know, drop from a height from here, for example, by the time they hit the floor, they're going to die, and you're going to lose the effectiveness of them. And then stick a water bucket across there and across there. You get an infinite water source as it happens, but also it's a really good way to stop the mobs from falling too far, because they'll fall through the water and their drop will start counting when they get past the water, and they won't all die at the bottom, which is really good news, because if they just die at the bottom, you don't get the XP. You do get the drops, but you don't get the XP. And then we've got to build up another level of wall all the way around. So let's get that done, and I'll be back when I've finished. So we've got a 3-high wall that completely encases these dispensers, which is brilliant. That's just what we're after. And we are starting to build up the redstone that is going to give us complete control over this XP farm. So you can see here we've done 3 of the 4 legs already. I'm just going to show you what we've got. So we're coming off of the corner closest to where the dispenser is. So we're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it happens on this side, that brings us out 1 past. You may have to do 9 depending on which side of the tower you're doing it. Straight off of the circuit of redstone, we have got a repeater, then a line of redstone going into a block with a redstone torch coming out the back of it. That has a block on top of it, which has a redstone torch on top of that. That creates a NOT gate, which then powers this block if it is reversed. That then allows this repeater to suck the signal out of the block, shooting the signal up here, in through that, into the dispenser, and releasing the water. Yes, it's genius, and it works. So let's just do one more over here, and you can see we're coming off of this corner. We're going to come all the way off until we are 1 past, like that. There we go. Stick a block on there, stick a redstone torch on top of that, stick a block on top of the redstone torch, stick a redstone torch on top of the block, and then to the side of that redstone torch we're going to bring a row of blocks all the way level to that dispenser there. Stick a block on top of that, get a repeater coming out of that, get a repeater going into there, and a line of redstone all the way along. That's the outer bit, and then we just need to put a line of redstone all the way along this way as well. That needs to be a repeater to make sure we've got enough signal to reach the outer leg. None of the repeaters have got any ticks apart from their standard 1 tick on them, and that, apart from sticking a bucket of water into that dispenser, is indeed that. So now what I'll do is I'll show you, if we then flick this switch down here, flick the lever, that reverses the polarity of the redstone circuit, we come up to the top and you can see inside we have, oh, something's not worked over there. What hasn't worked? We've got a problem. So now we need to decide what the problem is, and we can see here it's because I've been a loony and I haven't actually connected it up. So we need to just put the repeater there and get the redstone all the way along. That reverses the polarity. That will squirt the water out. Thank you very much. We've got full water, which is what we want. Then all we need to do when we have had enough of that cycle, we turn it off, turn it on again, give it another pulse. That will retract all the water, and turn it off again. And then we'll find upstairs here we have no water in the system because the water has been retracted. Now yes, there is an alternative here where you use a button instead of a lever, and that gives a water pulse that just shoots the water in and out. And yeah, you could do that. You could press it to shoot the water out and then press it back again to shoot the water in. I just like a lever. One, because I feel like I've got more control when I've got a lever, it stays on, and two, I just think it looks better. I don't know why, I'm just weird like that. What can I tell you? Anyway, so that's me enough rambling on. That's brilliant. So now all we need to do is make sure that we've got enough height in here should we want to put capture any of the taller creatures that we could find we get in this spawner, like Enderman or things like that, which should spawn in here, assuming that you haven't given them anywhere to jump out of, which is also a possibility. So what you need to do is make sure that on the highest point, and that is this point here, that you have got a 3 high gap. So we're going to put another row of wall all the way around. So we've got a 3 high wall at that point, and then we're going to get our steps, and we're going to place steps all around the outside here.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight.
There we go. We've just got steps that are just bringing that edge in ever so slightly. That is purely for look. It has got absolutely no purpose whatsoever. And then we can complete the floor all the way along. And what we need to manage to do is make sure that we leave the hole in the middle in exactly the same place, because what we're going to do is we're going to create a second level. Now I recommend on this build you always have at least 2 levels. You can have several levels if you wish, but I reckon 2, maybe 3 levels is enough. Because after all, you want to be killing them at the bottom, not just kind of collecting the drops. If this was purely for collecting the drops, I'd say have 6 or 7 levels. It doesn't matter. Make sure you completely max out the mob count, but 2 or 3 should be enough for you to be able to hit them at the bottom to gain the XP, and you'll be able to get XP very, very quick if you do that. So let's fill in this box all the way around, and there we have a 2 by 2 hole, exactly covering the right space right there. So that's what we want. That's perfect. So then we just need to repeat the layering again. So I'll be back when I've done that. And we've finished the structure of the second floor, and if you wanted to put a third floor in, you just literally would do exactly the same again. The redstone isn't any different at all, except you need to raise it up 1 level. So on top of that block that we last had at the last level, stick a redstone torch, then a block, then a redstone torch, then a block. Have that block with a repeater coming out of it, then a line of redstone, and then just step up that redstone onto the next level that shoots into the repeater, which shoots into that dispenser. So I'm just going to do that with the one last side that we've not done it on yet. Right, so I'm just going to do that again so you can see what we've got here. We're going to put a torch, we're going to put a block, we're going to put a torch, we're going to put a block, and you can see that last torch there is not active, so we need to reverse the polarity of the circuit for that torch to come on, which will then power that block, which will then give power to the dispenser, which is great. So we come along this way, come along that way, get rid of that one over there just for tidiness, and come back round here, get ourselves the repeater, stick the repeater facing that way, get ourselves redstone dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another repeater shooting right into that. And that, again, will cause exactly the same process. That will shoot the water into there, which will sweep away any of the mobs that you are going to be collecting right at the bottom here and getting lots of lovely XP. So if I flick that switch, that reverses the polarity of the circuit, and if I come up to the top, we will be able to see that that has got water running all the way through it. And if we come down this hole, that too has got water all the way around it, which is brilliant. And again, if you did a third level, that would also have water in it. So all we need to do now is cover up the top, because we don't want any light, with a load of slabs. I'm just going to use stone brick slabs. The reason we're using slabs is because, whoops, except I've done a wrong one. We're using slabs is because we don't want anything to spawn on top of the build. Now remember to stick your slab on the bottom half of the top block. That will create what's effectively a transparent block on the top, and that will not be able to spawn whatsoever, not a chance, on top of these slabs, which will give you the absolute maximum possible yield for mobs that you can possibly get, which is what we're wanting. If you've got any mobs spawning on the roof of this, that is going to take away from the maximum number of mobs that you can have spawn inside, which is going to reduce the number of mobs that you can have at the bottom, giving you lovely experience, and that isn't any good for anybody. So I'll be back when I've completed that. So now we've got a lid on it. It is a completely self-contained system and would be ready for us to get cracking on it, but I think it looks just a little bit not very nice, so I need to make it look a little bit more like this. So I've put kind of 4 swirls around the outside, so they're like, I guess they're a bit like wings or just flourishes of chiseled stone, just to give it just a little bit of a different feel. It's a bit of a, almost like a castle-y turret swirling feel. I just like the idea of it. It looks far more imposing. It looks really quite ominous and scary, and you can imagine it as some kind of evil spectre spaceship coming for you in the night. We've blocked off the bottom just with some half slabs, made it half slabs so as there's nothing can spawn on it, and we've put just a little bit of light down at the bottom so as you can see what you're doing. Now if you wanted to, you could of course, look how that looks up from underneath. That looks absolutely awesome. I love it. You could of course build this in and turn it into an internal space all the way around here, but for the purposes of this demonstration and this tutorial, we are keeping this out in the open. So the only thing that really leaves us to do is to give it a bit of a test. So I've decided, for the sake of my own safety, because I'm now in survival mode, I really ought to have a little wall around me, because just in case these slimes that seem to always spawn around these spawner worlds that you often start up in creative, I don't want the slimes giving me a right sliming. But I have got, I suspect, quite a few things going on up there. All I've got is a stone sword, which is great, and you could use your fist as well of course, and I'm going to flick the switch and let's see what happens. But I'm expecting a few things to drop down on my head. Shall we give it a go? There we go. So that has washing the water, and down comes a creeper, immediately dying. So we've got absolutely loads of stuff coming through it. Can you see this? It is absolutely monstrous amount of mobs that we've had come here, and it's just one hit in them. Look at all this experience that is flowing out towards me. We're getting loads and loads. Often they're only one hits, and just for the sake of the creepers, just in case they're a little bit too close, I don't like it. But look at all this. We've got level 13 already just like that, and we just keep going, and we're banging them a bit more and more and more and more. And we keep going. And you notice that the creepers at the back there are a little bit difficult to get, so you almost have to wait for them to come towards you. You can of course have the back open if you wanted to, with a similar kind of setup with you've got at the front, and that will mean that they can't escape to the back as well. So we just keep hitting them, keep hitting them. And let's turn that off, retract the water, and we are ready for another lot. So this one's coming back, thank you very much. We'll have a bit of you as well. So we've done level 16 already, we've got loads more. We just have to wait for these guys to move around. This is actually quite good. Look, we're well into level 16. We'll get that fella as well. Halfway along level 16 now. That's killed that creeper, that's killed that creeper, that's killed that zombie. They're all coming for us because they want to eat our faces. So we are still going, and the XP is flying in. We're almost at level 17, and that was only one flush. I wonder what happened if we flushed him again. Oh, let's just get this zombie first. There we go. So we've got loads of XP and we've broken the 17. Let's flush it again. And I reckon we'll probably find that we get a few more things coming down. There we go. We've got a load more stuff coming in now. So let's just smack these around with our stone sword. There's no danger of getting eaten at all. It's all looking pretty happy, pretty comfortable. They're all very nearly dead by the time they hit the floor. So we just have to keep smacking them down. So I'm now just using my fist because I've run out of sword. It was just a stone sword, but we're just bashing them with our fist now. And the creepers aren't getting anywhere near us either. So we've got three little mobs left there. We can't quite reach them, but they're still falling. Look, they're still falling. And we've managed to get halfway through level 40 with just 2 flushes, and there's still a little bit in there that we could get if they walk towards us like that. Look, there we go. And they're still coming. Look, the XP's still flying in. And inside this chest, we have already collected absolutely loads and loads of loot. Look, 42 gunpowder, 28 arrows, 21 bones, load of rotten flesh, if that's what floats your boat, a couple of bows, and obviously the obligatory carrot. Because everybody needs a carrot, right? So I'm just going to hit a skeleton with a bone because that's what I call irony. Yeah? So if you have enjoyed... Look, the slime wants me. If you have enjoyed this video, please do make sure you slap that like button all over the place. It has been a real joy to bring this to you. I've really enjoyed it. It's been brilliant. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will look forward to seeing you in another video. You know what? I think we're going to have another crack at this. Let's see what else we can do. You take it easy now. Bye. Oh, they're coming again. They're coming again. Bye.